I remember the knock on the door. Sharp, impatient, the kind of knock that carries anger. When I opened it, my uncle stood there, his face already twisted into a sneer. Behind him Mimitha, my cousins, all of them, a Moboth blood, and then the words spilled from his mouth like venom. Hand over thumb. It belongs to the family, not you. That was the moment I realized blood meant nothing. When my grandparents' lawyer first slid the papers across the polished oak table, my hands trembled. Not from greed, but from shock. Sole heir, $8 million, their estate, their house, their legacy, all mine. I looked around that office, expecting someone to jump up to correct mistake, but no one did. The ink was, the signatures were real, and thoughts when I felt their eyes burn into my mother, my uncle, my cousins. They weren't happy. They were calculating. By that time we left the lawyer's office. They had already made up their minds. That night they demanded I sign everything over. When I refused, they threw me out like trash. My own family. No suitcase, no goodbyes. Just the cold street. You walked away with nothing but the deed in me pocket. My grandparents' house was silent when I unlocked the door. Every step echoed. I should have felt safer there, but safety doesn't exist when Yagno wolves are circling. That night, Izet in their old study, staring at their my grandmother's smile, my grandfather's steady gaze. They had trusted me, and I knew this is why they saw what the rest of my family had. And if my family wanted a war, I would give them one. Revenge doesn't start with rage. It starts with clarity. I made calls. First, to the lawyer Thento, the bank, finally to someone my family would never expect. I spent the night preparing, not with weapons, with documents, with signatures, with second protection. Money can buy when used wisely. By morning, I wasn't just an heir. I was untouchable. They came at noon. Cars pulled into the driveway, doors slammed. The mob had arrived. I watched from the window. Asti marched up the path, their face twisted with entitlement, fury, greed. They thought this was theirs. They thought I was a child they could bully. They thought wrong. The knock rattled the door. This time I didn't open it. I let them wait. Let the silence choketh. Then slowly I turned the handle and stepped into the sunlight. Behind him he stood, my grandfather's oldest friend, a man my family hadn't seen in years. But they recognized him. Their faces froze. You see, my grandfather had been many things. A father, a businessman, a pillar of Thekimut. But more than anything he had been loyal to his oldest friend Aritad Judge. And that judge had come with more than presents. He had come with signed injunctions, legal authority and power my family could never challenge. My uncle tried to speak first. His voice cracked. This is a family matter. The judge's reply was cold, final, not anymore. The estate belongs solely to your nephew. Any attempt to harass, trespass or interfere will result in criminal. You have no claim, no power. Leave. The papers in his hand were heavy with weight, binding, irrevocable. I didn't have to say a word. I watched thigh fights drain from their faces. Mimitha's lips trembled as if she wanted to beg, but pride locked her throat. My cousins looked at each other, realizing the game was over before it began. My uncle clenched his fists, but he knew Thor wasn't on his side anymore. 1v1. They turned back to their cars, defeated, silent, and for the first time in years, I felt the house exhale. That night I sat in my grandfather's study. The firelight flickered, the air was warm. The judge had gone home. Booth's words remained. They can't touch you. Live your life. Your grandparents wanted this for you. I poured myself a glass of whiskey from my grandfather's. As the liquid burned my throat, I realized something. Revenge isn't always about destroying someone. Sometimes it's about watching them destroy themselves. My family's greed had written their downfall long before I picked up a pen. All I did was let them choke on it. I don't miss them. Blood doesn't guarantee love. What I inherit wasn't just money. It was freedom, and intend to use it the way my grandparents wanted, wisely, quietly, and with. But make no mistake, if my family ever tries to come for me again, I'll be ready. Because the day they threw me out, they taught me the most important lesson of all. Sometimes the only way to protect what's yours is to stop being family and start buying.